Hello and welcome to Race Tech Radio. Race Tech Radio is a weekly podcast based on racing and technology news. I'm Yannick Martin and alongside me is Justin Ritchie. You can read all the stories we covered today at racetechradio.com. So this weekend was the first Indy Racing League IndyCar Series race at Homestead, Miami, and we have results for this race.
We do, in fact. It was the Indy 300, brought to you by XM Satellite, and that was this past Saturday. Exciting race, under the lights, a night race, if you could say. So, we will start off with the starting grid. Row 1, Dan Weldon and Sam Hornish. Row 2, Dario Franchitti and Tony Kanaan. Row 3, Marco Andretti and Scott Dixon. Row 4, Elio Castroneves and Sarah Fisher. Row 5, AJ Foyt and Vitor Mira. Row 6, Thomas Scheckter and Buddy Rice. Row 7, Danica Patrick and Ed Carpenter. Row 8 is Darren Manning and Kosuke Matsura. Row 9 was Marty Roth and Alex Barron. And row 10 was Scott Sharp and Jeff Simmons in 20th. Now, the thing about Scott Sharp and Jeff Simmons is this. Scott Sharp and Jeff Simmons were moved to the rear of the field because they were disallowed. The car failed to do the post-qualifying technical inspection. So they were Scott Sharp actually qualified in 7th, and Jeff Simmons was in 16th. So they were moved to 19th and 20th, and everyone got bumped up. So
that's always
now,
good.
as you can, that is always good. Really a shame. But the Andretti Green got a pretty good qualification there.
Yeah.
We had Dario Franchitti in 3rd, Tony Kanaan 4th, Marco Andretti 5th, and then Danica Patrick, but she doesn't matter.
Basically, it was a promising start for them, really.
It was very good. They smoked the qualification, and then they came across a couple of problems. Anyways, so as the race started, Kanaan, my favorite, of course, dropped 4 positions in 6 laps.
That's never good.
That is never good. He was treading water, my friend. So the first yellow came out on lap 8 or so, because Alex Barron, he actually stalled. The fuel pressure dropped, and so every Andretti Green car went into the pits, but Dario, because Dario was smoking. He was still going strong. But the rest of Andretti Green was struggling a fair bit, especially Marco Andretti. So they all came in for fuel, tire, and wing adjustments. Then Marco Andretti troubles again on the 65th lap. He came in and retired the car, saying it was undrivable, but insisted on the team to change the springs and tamper with the suspension so he could at least complete a few more laps, but that didn't happen. But his last few laps that he was out there, he was going 186 miles per hour, where the leader was doing 209 on average.
Ouch.
Yeah. So big troubles for Andretti Green.
Yeah.
Tony Kanaan caught up once his car was fixed. But, so pretty much in lap 66, they got another yellow because of light rain. So that's what can you do? It's Miami, rains, what have you. So that went yellow for a couple of laps. Then Alex Barron returned to the track, and Marco Andretti was officially ruled out of the race on lap 82. On lap 92, Simmons lost. Jeff Simmons, he was driving under the yellow, I believe. No, maybe not. I'm not sure. He lost the rear end, and he hit AJ Foyt. And also, apparently, I didn't actually see it, but Matsura was also gobbled up in that crash. So that was a shame.
It's funny though, because on the official results, he's positioned. Well, he registered 2 more laps than the 2 others.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that happened because I didn't actually see it, but I did read that he was part of that Simmons crash.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was on the front straight. So, when they were under caution, all the other cars had to go through the pit lane instead of down the straight. Lap 104, Danica Patrick was sent to the end of the line for a pit road violation. What she did was when she was pitted, once they released the car, she hit a tire from the pit stall in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost hit a crew member. He had to dive out of the way. But in her defense, the tire guy did admit that it was a little far out. So, that's good. It's not all her fault. But there's more to come. It took Dan Weldon 11 laps to get from 9th to 1st after going green on lap 109. He was unstoppable. He was crazy. Do you understand how crazy he was?
Mm-hmm.
He led 179 laps.
That's crazy, man.
Of 200, his closest competitor was Scott Dixon, which only led 15.
Shows already how early in the season Target Chip Ganassi has an advantage over the others.
Yeah, for sure.
And
then
even the Penske's aren't even close. Well, Hornish is, but if you look at, for example, Castro Neves didn't.
Yeah, Castro Neves didn't have a good day at all. Anyways, 155, lap 155, Danica Patrick hit the inside pit wall. It happens every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
She came she's coming into pit. She downshifted too fast, slipped up the rear wheels, lost it, and she could have just halted on the brakes, waited for it to come to a stop, and then drove on. But no, she decided to crank the wheel right, and as soon as she got the traction back, she slammed directly into the wall, bending the front nose cone and the suspension.
Yeah.
So she sat there for a while, probably crying, I would assume. Possibly stomping up and down.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Very upset, but that's too bad. And then, of course, lap 200, Dan Weldon passes the finish line 6 seconds ahead of Dixon. So, 5 cars were on the lead lap.
Not a lot.
Not a lot, and only 12 finished. 8 retired. Quite a massive day. Yeah. So, here is how the race results ended. Dan Weldon came in first. Scott Dixon, also for Target Chip Ganassi, in second. Sam Hornish in third. Vitor Mira in fourth. Fifth was Tony Kanaan. Sixth, Ed Carpenter. Seventh, Dario Franchitti. Eighth, Thomas Schechter. Ninth, Elio Castroneves. 10th, Buddy Rice. 11th, Sarah Fisher. And 12th, Scott Sharp. So Sarah Fisher running in the back of the pack, but at least she didn't, fuck up the car.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I don't know if we can see her doing better than Danica.
No, it's only one race, really. So
it is only one race, but Danica Patrick is not my favorite.
No, she's a little overexcited sometimes. Maybe too emotional.
That could be. Well, she is a woman. So. But this was the first race of the 2007 season, and I'll tell you, it was exciting.
Yes, and unfortunately, as some of you may have observed, I haven't talked much during all these results because I have missed the race.
How could you do that?
I don't know. How could I have missed this? The opening race of like, my second favorite series, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I blame ESPN for that.
That's a good reason.
Yes, because here ESPN broadcasts through the Canadian channel TSN, and basically they've placed the race at midnight for my time, like midnight Eastern time. And I'm like, well, one, I'm like, fuck. And then second, I kind of forgot about it at midnight. Like, I don't really remember what I was doing at midnight or whatever. But, man, I meant not I'd be there.
Yeah, for sure. I almost missed it, to tell you the truth. I checked my schedule, and I said, okay, it's not showing up on the TSN schedule, but I checked my local listings, and it is on TSN. So I'm like, what are they doing, not updating their schedule? Anyways, the next race will be, of course, St. Petersburg, and that's on April 1st.
So that's like this weekend. No, next week. It is this weekend.
Yeah, it is.
I must not miss this one, though.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, it's on ESPN as well. I hate ESPN.
It is on ESPN. But that is
if only they
broadcast.
If only they broadcast them all on ABC. It would be just simpler.
I can see that being a little more helpful to the people without ESPN 2 or 1, maybe, because TSN is not a very good channel at all.
Basically, even adding to this, that it would never be live, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, my cat's all upset right now because they didn't show the Andy Roddick third round. So, yeah, they like pick and choose matches, and it's never live. I hate that show. And they show SportsCenter like 6 times a day. It's the same episode. It's with ridiculous. That guy. I hate that guy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
look, I'm looking at the TSN broadcast schedule for this weekend. They have like a lot of they have NASCAR on there, hell of a lot of Sports Center, a hockey game.
Gotta have NASCAR.
IRL at 3 a.m. on the Sunday to Monday night. 3 a.m. Wow. Honda Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, like 3 a.m. Eastern, so that would be like midnight for you. But
that is crazy.
Ah, man. 3 a.m. As if I'm going to be watching at 3 a.m. when I have stuff the next day.
Yeah, you know what you should do? You should get a recording device.
Yeah.
Or just email them nasty letters. I would do it.
That's going to help. And it's not rebroadcasted anyways either.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
Fuck.
That is crazy, because usually you would expect them maybe rebroadcast it next day at like lunchtime.
It's not even. Man.
Very inconsiderate.
I hate that.
So anyways, that is this weekend in St. Petersburg.
Yes.
We'll see how it goes. Last year's winner was Elio Castroneves, so we'll have to see how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So on to some news.
Yes.
Not a whole lot of news.
Nope.
Not at all. Right. So time for Spyker. Spyker. Yes. Spyker. Stirring up shit already.
Yes,
Spyker has now officially served court papers to both Super Aguri and Toro Rosso. Spyker accuses both teams to be just another car of their father cars like Honda and Red Bull, right?
Mm-hmm.
Therefore not being independent car manufacturers. The matter will be heard out by the Chamber of... I'm not sure if I spelled that correctly, did I?
Chamber of Commerce in Lausanne, right?
No, Concord. Concord is it?
The F1's Concord Agreement.
Commerce. What the hell do I have here? Carmerco. What the hell's Carmerco? Alright, so is the Chamber of Commerce. Where all the rules are distributed. I know. I don't know how I typed that incorrectly. So that's where they disputed all the F1 rules.
So I guess basically Spyker is accusing Red Bull and Honda of basically having 4 cars each on the track, really?
Yes, because here's a direct quote. We have a constructors championship. And I repeat that, a constructors championship, he said. So you have this defined in the Concord Agreement. It is a single manufacturer. You must manufacture your own car. That qualifies you to be a constructor.
So
and
basically,
that's from Colin Coles, the paddock dentist himself.
So he'd say like how Honda is basically accumulating all the points of the Honda team and the Super Aguri, like unofficially, for it being a big constructor.
It's like Spyker is not, Spyker makes their own car, where Honda hands down their crap to Super Aguri, which Super Aguri is kicking ass with that equipment.
Yes,
but Super Aguri is running a developed version of the Honda RA106 from last year, while Toro Rosso is racing its very own version of the Red Bull RB3. Both teams insist, however, that they are fully complying with the regulations because they are built separately.
So it's like it's customized. It's as if they customized the old stuff and use it for their own.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
But
they believe.
This thing could kind of be stretched due to how the teams use different engines. Like, for example, the Ferrari engines are like used in 4 teams this year, 3 or 4 teams, including Ferrari. It's as if there's no actual engine championship, as you call it. But
that's true.
Everything can be stretched out, so it basically accumulates points for the Ferrari engine and thing. I don't know.
But the problem here is, it's not just an engine. It's an engine, a chassis,
Yeah.
It's the combination of the two, which are exactly the same as the last year's Honda, for example. So, it is... I see where he's going with it.
Yeah.
But I don't want, Toro Rosso to drop out.
No.
And Aguri to drop out.
It's slightly far-fetched, because it's basically still the team itself that's going to gain the points.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyways, that come from...
The Spyker.
Yeah, they're causing shit already, but
Why not?
Why not, really? I see it as a problem, but I don't think it's that serious.
Yeah.
Anyways, the next story.
Already?
Do you want to cover this?
I guess I can read the title.
Alright then. I gotta get a cough drop, my throat hurts.
Next story on the list is Audi considering dropping out of the ALMS, being the American Le Mans Series.
I'll tell you why this is screwed up. Because ever since the Audi R10 was released, it has been dominant. Like, so dominant that competitors aren't even coming close. So, the R10 team of Audi are thinking of leaving the American Le Mans Series because the American Le Mans Series organizers have instituted too many special rules for the R10 in order to slow it down to make it look like it's a close race. Pretty much. Between all the LMP2 cars. Like a smaller fuel tank and other things. I don't know why I brought that up. That's all there is really that I could think of. But it is unfair.
Yeah.
Audi doesn't find it fair to be for the rules to be temporarily altered. Right?
Kind of is unfair, because basically Audi comes there, brings a crazy-ass car that can basically totally own everyone else, and the series just says, well, you see, you're owning too much, so just to make it more fair for the others, let's regulate your car a lot, just so you can...
You'll have to pit at least 8 times a race. Like, what? That's ridiculous. But here's my question. Why doesn't Audi just wait for Peugeot to come in with the 908, right? And then it will be diesel on diesel.
Yeah.
Because why don't they make an LM diesel?
But are they coming, though? Yeah.
Well, they're coming to Le Mans, and that's where Audi went, and then after that they went into the ALMS. So it's the natural step for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
But why
maybe
don't the other teams try to help themselves too and try to upgrade their stuff?
Well, you see, I don't know. But that is a mighty good question.
Yeah. Oh well.
But I think they should make a new diesel class.
Yeah, they could. That would be
Because
a good idea.
that's the only way of regulating this. What, you're going to say, oh, diesel cars have to run on their hubcaps only. They can't use tires. You know, wait.
Yeah, but what's the point of having a diesel division if you have only one team in there?
Well, if Peugeot comes in...
If they do, but are they in there? No.
No, they're not.
Well.
Well, what do you suppose they do then? They just let them continue to own?
Why not? They're there for that.
They are there for that. I don't know. But seriously, that's like saying, oh, by the way, you gotta stop and go because you're a lap ahead of everyone. You're like, what?
It's like as if they would have done in the, well, they kind of did do that in a way, but in F1, well, Ferrari was totally owning for the 5 years in a row. They would have added all sorts of rules to try and slow down Ferrari and Schumacher in order for the others to be contenders to the championship too.
And now it's kind of the opposite, you know, like Renault was kind of, you know, they're like, oh, you got mass dampers, huh? I think there's a regulation against that. But we'll turn a blind eye to whatever Ferrari has there. What's that? You have like boxes around your tires? That's fine. Like,
did you see the Renaults last weekend? They had those.
I did, in fact. Also, I thought one more team had them too. I was like, hey, are they running them? But I think it was a Red Bull.
Possibly.
I'm not sure. I thought I saw it, but I'm like, hey.
I'm going to check it out. Well,
anyways,
we talk about other things.
That's very exciting, though. You know, them always changing rules on teams that are dominant in their sport. You know,
why not?
I guess so, really. Well, coming up on the hour fast here. Not really.
No.
My throat is really hurting. That's the bad part. All right. So, next piece of information we have to share with you. Something I like to call the Kingston Data Traveler.
Yes.
This has been waiting for several weeks because we just came across more stories. We had the IRL special, the F1 special.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't fit it in.
But now we are.
But here it is today. So
we're all happy there.
I am happy. This is amazing. Yeah, I would say amazing. Yeah, because it's the first of its kind.
It's good.
You have a flash drive, don't you? A little thumb drive, right?
Everybody does.
Everybody does.
Except for those that have diskettes. I totally laugh my ass off when I see those.
That's true. But some people also have those little SD cards, right? For their digital camera and so forth, right? PDAs, what have you. Well, now there's the Kingston Data Traveler. And this is both a 1, 2, or 4 gig USB thumb drive. But in the back, you can open it up, and it's a card reader. So you can put your SD cards, MMC cards, or SDHHC cards. Now you're like, yeah, what's the big deal? But it's only $20 for 1 gig, $35 for 2 gigs, and that's this month they will be released. The 4 gig is not set as a quote yet, but it will be in the second quarter of 2007.
But about those prices, that is really cheap.
That is really cheap. Sure, you can go pick up a card reader for $10, but it's not going to have a gig attached to it.
Exactly. Even
that's where it's great.
Gigs basically are at least $20 each. Even on eBay, you can get them for like $15 sometimes. Well, now they're getting pretty cheap because there's more of them, but cheap stuff.
Even
cheap
on eBay,
and practical
he says.
stuff. Yes, but I don't think they take the Sony ones, the memory sticks.
Oh, that could be true. Yeah, I don't think so.
That is a difference.
Who uses those anyways?
I do.
Yeah, that's true.
what happens when you have Sony digital cameras and stuff like that. You see Sony always wanting to do their own things.
Proprietary, yeah. But of course, lock down the market.
That's what is killing them as well.
Yeah,
they will
that is
lose eventually. They will lose the Blu-ray, that's for sure. They will lose. They lost with the beta. They lost with the mini discs.
I still have a mini disc player.
Yeah, you do. Who else uses it?
I saw one person the other day.
You see some once in a while.
I was shocked too. I'm like, hey, you have a mini disc.
Yeah,
and
I was
like,
shocked too the other day.
And it's almost like a little culture. You're like, hey, I know how to open those. You have to press the little button on the side. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, man, you feel like, part of a little cult. Very unpopular.
Yes.
Anyways, that's very exciting, though. You can now carry around a 4 gig USB thumb drive and have room to take off your pictures from your camera, take off songs from your PDA, and what have you.
And both are accumulative, really. So, for example, you get the 4 gig model, and you put a 4 gig SD in there, you get 8 gigs, right?
Yeah, that's correct. But they do show up as 2 different partitions. So,
and they work on Macs.
Well,
why not?
That's reason to go buy a Mac right there. Well,
yes,
that's exciting and all, but we do have to move on, unfortunately.
Kingston is good stuff.
Kingston is good stuff. They used to be great with routers, but I haven't seen them in Best Buy for a while. So
yeah, great memory stuff though.
Do you remember the ripoff they had there? That stupid little button that you pressed and it showed you a green light if there was a Wi-Fi signal?
No.
It was like this little meter. You pressed the single button, and it would detect whether there was a Wi-Fi signal near you and how strong it was. It was so stupid. It's like you would just pull out your laptop, But I don't know what the hell's the deal with that. Anyways, next bit of news.
Yes.
Is the PlayStation 3 Home.
Sony.
It is Sony, but I'll tell you something about this. Have you played Second Life?
No.
Browsed around on Second Life? No. Well, I have. And I'll tell you this much. It is shit. It is total shit.
Yes.
It looks like shit. It feels like shit.
Shit is the word.
That's what it is. It seriously is. It is nowhere near being the Matrix or the Metaverse. Neither is PS3 Home, but this is getting a little closer. PS3 Home is a lot like Second Life, but with better graphics. Because, someone's got to use all those graphics, right? So anyways, here's the problem with it. There's a main lounge. There's a game room, which has like a pool table, arcade, and some bowling. There's a sports room where you can shoot some hoops or what have you. Right? There's a movie theater, which as far as I know, doesn't actually show movies unless you buy them. They just show trailers. And you have your own apartment. Now, you can customize your apartment. You can put stuff on the wall. Here, I did like this idea. You can put a picture frame on the wall and then go into your hard drive and put up a picture that you have on your hard drive. You can also do that with video audio. You can have like your own song playing in
Mm-hmm.
the room, right? That's pretty cool. That's
okay, but why create something that kind of already exists? So.
Because, sir, you can't just hope for monopoly. Okay, what the fuck are you talking about? Why don't you just? That's retarded. That's stupid. You know what? Dell's making pretty good PCs. Let's just let them do it. That's exactly what they want. No, of course not. This is for the PS3, so it's for PS3 only. It's like Xbox Live. Instead of the main page where you sit there and look at your friends list, you walk around.
It's dumb.
It is dumb. I'll give you that. I will give you that. But what is cool is, like you have clans or what have you when you're like kicking some ass in a game. You're like, hey, you're pretty good. Let's make a clan, dominate other clans. You can have your apartment set up as a clan's room.
Yeah.
Dude.
See that.
Dude, everyone comes in, you're like partying, you're like, oh, I love your couch, man. You're like, yeah, I paid for that.
But this is a console. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to play games, not be a game.
I can see that. Here's my problem with it. There's a free and premium clothing line and furniture and all that stuff. So there's like, say there's 100 couches. Only 50 of them are unlocked. The other 50 you have to pay $4 for. Mm-hmm. Right? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. So if you want a shirt, like say you want, a cool shirt, you have to buy a shirt, or you have to use one of the shirts in there, which are totally gay. So you're best to just buy your own shirt. Or if you buy a game, it will unlock. Say you buy, I don't know what the hell's out for PlayStation.
Some NBA game, I guess.
If you buy like
it's
MotorStorm,
the only game I see in demos.
MotorStorm's pretty cool, right? MotorStorm.
Ow.
Then you can get a nice shirt, right? That's kind of cool. Also,
a game
you can
shirt?
get wallpaper. Yeah, game
Okay.
shirts. So walk around like a Halo 3 shirt, even though Halo 3 doesn't have licensing on the PS3, but that's okay. They never will. Furniture. It's cool. There's tons of furniture. It's not only furniture, though. You can buy a bigger apartment, dude. You can have a big, massive, like, 2-story, Scarface kind of house, and then have, like, parties and, like, have your TV and pool table and shit like that.
Does it
You don't
cost
like
something to participate in that, like, at the basic level?
It does not cost anything.
So it's like a free sim inside the console.
You could call it free if you single out propaganda as not being free. Dynamic advertisements are in the game. Not only in the game, but every room they showed. So you're walking around, you're like, oh shit, why am I lagging? Oh right, it's a new trailer. What the fuck? That's bullshit. Okay? Seriously. And it's not like subtle shit. It's like blatant, like 4 screens on each wall. Hey, there's a huge screening of Resistance Fall of Man. I turn around and everyone's watching a trailer for it over here. And it was funny because the guy was pushing it to us on the keynote. He's like, and you can see the dynamic advertisements of only the latest and coolest games. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Like, who's gonna actually walk around, chat with those people, and then watch the trailers?
People have nothing else to do because they're already on the PS3 Home.
But you know what is cool? I'll tell you what's cool. I'll tell you what's cool. In your house, you can play a movie, everyone else can see it.
Yeah, but...
So you can have a TV sitting there, right? Playing James Bond. Everyone's like, dude, I love James Bond.
But the movies that are on the TV right there, can you, like, watch it full screen? kind of
You
thing?
can, in fact. You zoom in to a point where you just see like the frame of the TV. It's the same thing in the movie theater. You sit down wherever you want, but you can zoom in or zoom out. So you can look around. Also, what's cool, it's kind of like the arcade machine. You can play the arcade machine, but then you can back out. You can look around with the Axis controller, so you tip your head sideways and stuff. And you can check out your quote-unquote virtual PSP, and that's pretty much the menu. So you can go to Dave's house.
Yeah. I don't know. You didn't get me convinced on this PS3 Home thing.
You know what?
That's not going to make me buy a PS3, though.
That's correct, but nor is it supposed to. Something you might like?
Like, just for fun? To waste even more of people's time?
Well, Half-Life, Second Life is a huge phenomenon.
Yes.
Why? I don't know, but people seriously spend their whole lives in there.
Yes. Especially.
And, fucking write code to, like, throw around dildos, and you're like, dude,
hey,
get a life.
That was on Dignation. If you haven't seen that the other day, it was just great show.
That was a great show, wasn't it? But no, that happened a long time ago. But anyways, that's the thing. Second Life is such a big thing, and there are other virtual worlds, just they're not as popular as Second Life.
Yeah.
So PlayStation thinks they can capitalize off of this whole, hey, let's get a Second Life thing, and create their own version. It's not as... You can't make your own house, you can't make your own cars, you can't fly. There's differences.
Yeah.
But maybe PlayStation is looking to do something a little different. One thing that I did like was you have a Hall of Fame room. So pretty much you have all your achievements in the games you've played.
Okay.
So say you beat Halo 3 on Legendary, you put that trophy up there and everyone's like, dude, you beat Halo 3 on Legendary. And you're like, damn right I did. And you can view other people's Hall of Fame rooms. Also, you can visit the whole Hall of Fame room. So whoever has the top score on this game.
That's good.
That is good. I think that's brilliant.
That would be an addition X-Fire needs.
X-Fire?
For the PC. That would be nice. I know there's an option to, like, calculate your kills and stuff in some of the FPS games, but...
I can see that working, but the PS3 way is a little different because you can there are actually three-dimensional trophies.
Yeah, but I mean, like, stat-wise.
Yeah, I can see that, but I don't know. X-Fire has a hard enough time getting every game, let alone all the achievements in each level, and then they would have to recognize each achievement. Like, come on, it's a little far-fetched, but I do see that as a market, maybe one day.
Eventually.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
I don't even know what you said.
I said eventually.
Well, I thought you said today. No, maybe eventually. I doubt it.
Anyways.
But you know what? You never know.
Yes. We never know what can happen to the future.
Yeah. So, anyways, I believe that's all for this episode.
Already.
Very,
very short show.
Rather short. Didn't help that my throat hurt, but
No. We all have our little problems. Like my dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, you dislocated your shoulder, which is a shame, but you gotta
hurt,
get a
man.
better defense mechanism.
It's
tell
okay,
ya.
but when... No, just not talk about it.
Going limp is not an option. You can't just drop to the floor.
I didn't just drop to the floor. I was
It
going
doesn't
one
work.
way, and the other one pulling my arm was going the other way.
It's a disagreement.
Yes.
It's a crossroad in a sense. And, well, at least your joints held up for the time they did.
Yes.
Anyways, so that's all for this week's edition, episode, what have you.
Episode, I think, does the work.
That works. That
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Very
Anyways,
exciting.
bye.
Goodbye.